Let me show you guys real quick what I did here. Sorry I couldn't record while I was installing the control arms and springs because it gave me a real big issue here. I'm going to show you guys real quick how to do this easier for you guys so when y'all do it you won't have the problems I had. Okay, so on the instructions it says make sure you drop your axle by unbolting the your springs, your shocks, and then your control arms. Okay, so when that happens, make sure you put a jack right in the middle of your axle right there, and just have it there just in case. That's what it tells you to do. Now, one thing I do want to tell you guys is make sure before you, like what I did before I got to working on the Jeep. What I did, I used PB Blaster and all the joints here and all the bolts and stuff like that. That helped me a lot. Keep in mind, since my Jeep is kind of new, well, newish, the guys that I bought it from took care of it very well, so I didn't have no rust issues, anything like that. So the bolts were pretty not that hard to unloose, but I did still threw some PV blaster on there, and it did help a lot. But anyways, let me show you guys what I did real quick. Okay, again, like the instruction says drop your axles. Now, I see some other videos where the guys they put in the springs in before putting the control arms, and then you have to use a kind of compressor to move the axle forward to get to that to put in the control arms. Now, in the instructions, it says basically put the control arms in first. So because if you don't, then that's where you're gonna have the issue trying to force the control arm into the axle and lining them up, and that's where it's gonna have a problem. I tried to do that first, and I was having issues. So I said, you know what? Let me go what the instruction says. So the first thing you want to do is you want to drop your axle, and then install your control arms. Tie them down. Well, don't tie them down, just hand tie them, and just leave them like that. And then when you have that done, then you'll be able to go ahead and put the springs in. Now, you're gonna need a spring compressor. Okay, so just keep that in mind. If you don't have a spring compressor, this ain't gonna work. Because I tried doing it without a spring compressor, and it's not gonna work. Because these springs are pretty tall, so you have to make sure you get a spring compressor. Especially when you have one installed on one side, which is a little bit easier because I could move the axle. But when you have the other side, that's gonna be where you get the little problem. So you have to have a spring compressor installed there. So I use a spring compressor. Put one in, got the other side, and then got the other one inside, and then took off the spring compressors and got everything in. So now this is what it looks like. Everything's in there. My next step, I think, is to install the shocks or something like that. Now, before I did that, it does in the kit. I mean, the instruction says to make a hole, a 3/8 hole for your track bar arm. Now, I went ahead and purchased a track bar arm, the adjustable track bar arm. Sorry. I'm just kind of tired, so you don't have to make no holes. And I didn't really want to make any holes on my frame there, so I went ahead and bought the adjustable track bar. I went ahead and installed it. Now, I didn't put it up because it says not to. I just put it in on the other side, on the I guess on the right hand part. I installed that, so you know I have to get in that area no more. There are instructions on it, so you gotta make sure you follow the instructions for 4-inch left. Okay, so again, here's the springs all installed here. I don't know if you can see that, but there's my track bar arm right there. The springs all installed. The axle all there. Control arms all installed. I usually can't see because of the light. I'm in my garage. That looks a little better. Control arms there. Springs. And then everything's in there. So I think right now the next step is to put in I haven't seen instructions, but I think I'm gonna call it a day or call it a night. Put in the shocks or the front sway link bar or something like that. But anyways, so again, to recap, make sure you put in your control arms first, and then put in the springs. Like I said, I've seen a couple of videos on YouTube where they put the springs in first and then they try to put the control arms. It's going to give you a hassle doing that way. So make sure you put the control arms first, then make sure you get a spring compressor. Now, like I said, these spring compressors, you can get them from AutoZone. I mean, they're like, I think the one I got was like $50 to rent it, and then you just return it. So it's actually, it's actually they loan it out to you, but if you don't return it, they basically keep your deposit. So I think it's $55, something like that. So again, they work pretty good. And one thing I also want to tell you guys is, I'm doing this by myself. Okay, as you see, I'm in my garage. I have floor jacks. I got a regular simple jack. I was trying to do this without a air tools. Okay, it says on the instructions, it doesn't say anything about air tools, so I'm assuming that you could do it with the air tools. Okay, most of the guys that do the installs, they do it with air tools. I don't have a compressor, so I went down to Harbor Freight and purchased a electric impact wrench. Okay, let me tell you what, it's pretty awesome. Okay, I bought it for $39. Got the sockets that came with it, had a coupon, and it works like a charm. Okay, this is what I use. This is what I used here for my spring compressor. If I didn't have this, I'll be there all night, just turning this bolt, trying to tighten these springs. So this is what I do recommend, man. If you want to get this, as I said, it's pretty awesome. So again, that's the Chicago Electric Power Tool impact gun, whatever you call it. But this is what I do recommend. Now, like I said, I really don't use air tools, but I use that. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna buy a compressor for $200 and then do that stuff. I can use my hand tools. Like I said, it's a project, so I'm not trying to rush it. Trying to take everything smooth and keep it safe and stuff like that. So again, I got all my control arms in, got my springs in, and I think I'm gonna go to the next step and then go from there. Okay, you guys have any questions? Again, just keep them, just post them there. I think I'm gonna cut these into videos, first half and then the second half, and so on and so on. So again, springs in, control arms in, front tack bar in. Okay, so we'll go from there. All right, guys.